Delighted to say we're joined on the line by the Ultimate Fighter, Smashes winner, Stormin Norman Parke. Norman, thanks a million for coming on the line. How's your Christmas season and New Year's? How are things with you? How are you keeping?
Christmas has been 100%. I had a great time. Ate loads of chocolate. Ate loads of turkey. I mean, I think I'm a middleweight right at the minute. I'm sitting about 84 kilos. So that just tells you about that then. Great time.
Good stuff, mate. Good stuff. First of all, Norman, since coming out of the house, how has your life changed and how much of an experience has that been?
It's been a crazy experience. Like, it hasn't really sunk in yet, to be honest. Just whenever I went to Australia to fight in the finale, the publicity there was unbelievable. Like, it's people were stopping you in the street to get pictures taken left, right, and centre non-stop. Not so much back home here, but more so away in Australia. It was. Yeah. I loved every minute of it. It's been a great experience. I mean, like that's an experience that only come to you once in a lifetime. Like we'll never ever have that chance again unless you never know, somewhere down the line you could possibly be a coach or something like that there. But I mean, from a fighting point of view, it was just an unbelievable experience, humbling experience. Whenever you look back on it, I actually miss it. I wish it was back in the house again right now, to be honest.
Nora, what was it like that period after the show had finished filming and you were getting ready for the finale, but you were under tight instructions to keep your mouth shut over how the show went, and you're training for the biggest fight of your career, but you're trying to keep it to yourself? What's that like as a fighter to work in a gym with teammates? How do you prepare for that?
That just new set. That was funny, right? It was I only told my coach, and close people, like really close to my girl, like they obviously knew I was fighting in finals. You know what I mean? So they all had to sign confidentiality that they were the only people that knew. So, yeah. But whenever it came close to the fight, all my teammates, they were sitting watching the series that went by each week, and they were wondering why I kept. Whenever I was maybe near the end of the training session, I would start drilling, defending chokes and stuff like that there. So we were drilling for about half an hour, me and Rodney, the coach. And they're all kind of like looking over, wondering what we were doing and asking questions and stuff. Like, what are you defending them chokes for? Who are you fighting? We think you're fighting freak shows. So they kind of had a fair idea, but I just like, no, mum, no way. I'm just working in the game plan.
Just really into it,
yeah? They were trying to fish it out of me, but I just kept it, as zip as possible. So. But they, I think they had a fair idea. No.
And Norman, the standard in the house, obviously you beat guys, you beat Richie Vaz, Brennan Loughnane, and obviously your good pal Colin Fletcher. How good was the standard in the house?
Well, I think they're more stronger welterweights. They had a stronger welterweight division, whereas their lightweights were more all lighter weights. They were kind of bantamweights and featherweights, mixed up between them. But they were tough. I know it doesn't matter, at the end of the day they had nothing to lose. They were going in there to fight, and that could be your toughest fight there. And I mean, that first fight, Richie, was nerve-wracking feeling. He came in and he actually caught me around the back of the head, and I actually dropped to one knee. Yeah. And then I just recovered and took him down and stayed heavy on top. I actually wanted to stand and box with him. That's what I wanted to do, at the start, just to kind of get more confident there. But he was coming in very aggressive, so I thought take him down and just use my advantage, which was weight. So I was about 10 pounds heavier than him on the fight night, so I used that to my full advantage. And then the fight with Brendan, see when we were training, Brendan came in, he was a tough fighter. I mean, he had a good wrestling and he had good aggressive striking as well. Very hard to take down, good defensive takedown, so I knew he was one of the toughest fighters out of us all.
And we Bradley Scott on the show before his finale fight against Whittaker. He said about the boredom in the house. Is it really that bad? Is it really that excruciatingly painful when you're in the house and you've nothing to do and there's a big pile of food in the corner and you want to lay into it and you can't?
Just the toughest part of it. It's alright going train that kind of. We got up in the morning, right? Our training session was at 10 o'clock, I think it was. So we got up in the morning. We went training, we came back, had some food real quick, and then we had to go back for the fight pick again straight away. Like, we only had about half an hour to get something to eat, so we had to go back again for the fight pick, and then we did the fight pick, and then we stayed there for our second training session, and then by the time we got back home again, it was like 8 o'clock at night, so we were ready to go to bed. But the days that we didn't train and the days that Ross gave us time off, was boring, just sitting around the house doing nothing. Like, do you know what I mean? That was... You feel as if, when it comes to the weekend, right, I want to go down to the club or something like that there, but, you couldn't do that at all. There was times it was quite, hard, and boring, really, but other than that, you know, on the show they put it across as if it was really exciting and stuff like that. But there was some great times and stuff. But as a fighter, don't think I would do it again, but I would definitely do it if I was a coach. Like, definitely.
I heard the outtakes are supposed to be priceless. Brad Scott was saying there's some seriously good things we should try and find out in the future.
Yeah.
And Norman, what's the difference in you as a fighter, since you came from the cage contender scene and, like, you know, fought locally for many years? You're one of them. You're a young man, but you're still very experienced, and you've fought a lot of top guys over on this side of the border. What do you feel? How different are you as a fighter when you went over there? And did you notice any leap in the standard when you went over to the house?
Whenever I went there, you know, I was training with obviously all my teammates and stuff like that. There, I knew of some of them. You know, never knew of all. I knew of Colin and. Who else did I know? I knew Valentino. I never really knew the rest of the boys, so I was training with them day in, day out, and the level was good. You know, Ross brought in some great coaches. They had a good grappling coach in Jimmy Harbison, and they had Jason Suarez, and they had a good boxing coach as well. So, I mean, it's training them people on a daily basis is going to get you better, but I found it quite tough, to be honest. Whenever I was training, there was only maybe, I don't know what it was. I think it was maybe being away from home, maybe just totally different environment, going to people you don't know. There was only maybe two days out of the whole week where I was actually training at my best. The rest of the times I was kind of tired, feeling heavy, feeling drained. Yeah. I don't know. I think it was just being away and just put into a total different environment and situations. You understand what I'm saying? But you know, I went there and got the job done. That's all that matters. It doesn't really matter. But I knew in my head I was going to get the final. My main objective was just to get the final, just struggle out and get to the final, and then go back home and relax and do my own thing and train and prepare for it my own way. And I felt more comfortable once come to the final, you know.
Awesome stuff. How good was Ross Pearson as a coach?
Brilliant. I mean, he would, you know, he had a lot of coaches there himself. He says, look, I'm not really a coach, he goes, but I'm a really good training partner and stuff like that. But he came across, he was definitely a good coach. He showed us lots of great things, and he'd actually spar with us and train with us all the time, you know. And that was a great experience, you know. And I'm actually planning to go over to train with him in San Diego here. He says, come across, man, you can stay at my place. So I'm looking forward to that now.
Yeah, he really seemed to gel you guys together compared to George. Was George really as miserable as well as people made him out to be? Brad Scott said he's absolutely no personality at all.
Oh, he was. I mean, see, I used to watch him in UFC. I used to really, I mean...
Yeah, I was the same.
I used to love to meet him, you know, but he's, man, just from the get-go, his sense of humour wasn't there at all. And I just turned off him straight away, you know. You'd know what I mean if you're around his presence. He's just got a weird sense of humour, weird personality, weird everything.
Yeah.
And he doesn't really seem to smile or never really happy or anything.
Norman, what's it like to be now out of the house and you're back in your own camp and you're around your own coaches? We've seen a lot of fighters come out of the Ultimate Fighter, and once they've got back with their own camp, they've been able to push themselves and create the fighter that they actually want to be. Do you feel there's going to be a different Norman Parke going into his first proper UFC fight now than the one we saw in the house?
Definitely. Well, there's a lot more in my game that's... Like, my coaches know me as a fighter, right? Rodney knows me as a fighter. He knows what I can produce, right? When I'm training, the best really comes out of me, but in the fights, never really seems to happen. Always want to try and learn to stand. Like, I feel that's a game that most people never really get to see as much. You know, I want to try and, like, fight to my full potential in my stand-up, because it is pretty good, you know. And once I kind of just get that across, then I'll be more well-rounded then. But that's something I'm really working on at the minute, just getting the crossover from the gym, you know, to the actual competition side of things. But I'm confident enough, you know, in my grappling and wrestling stuff, because that's my roots. That's where I was brought up doing judo, takedowns and stuff like that there. You always go back to that, but I always did boxing stuff like that there, but it's never really shined as much. So that's something I'm just trying to bring into my game at the minute.
And I know obviously you're still good buddies with Colin Fletcher. How hard was that to fight him in the finale? Obviously you probably didn't speak to the guy for a while you were training for the fight. How tough was that to go in to the octagon with a guy you were so close to in the house and you became such good friends with?
You know, that was a tough experience. You know, Colin was, I mean, you'll never get really nicer guy. You'll never ever meet a nicer guy than Colin. A good family man, good friend, you know, just a good man to be around. He actually made the show, to be honest, because he was like our entertainment man. He'd always come up with some crazy stuff and all this here, and he'd just always keeping us interested, you know. And but I always said to him, we actually chatted to each other when we were in the house. I said, I didn't want to meet you in the semi-final or anything like that. There, you know, if it was to ever fight you, I'd rather meet you if we make it to the final, you know.
Brilliant.
So there it was, me and him in the final. But then we came away from the house for 3 months or so, and he actually rang me a few times. We spoke a few times. Then once it got maybe, I'd say halfway through the show, the episode maybe, when it got to my semi-final fight, then that was it. We kind of cut all contact, you know, started to get a bit more serious then, you know. And then whenever we actually came to the fight, whenever I met him in Australia, we'd just come over and shook hands, hugged the same thing, you know. Little did we know in a few days' time we're going to try and smash the head off each other, you know what I mean?
Yeah, crazy stuff.
But once we were in there and we threw the first punch, it just was out of my mind. That was it, just fighting. That is what it is, you know.
Yeah, it was very nice words for you at the end as well. What you said about Colin at the end, I think that shows you're pretty tight mates. But moving on a little bit, are you gonna? We obviously saw today on Twitter. I think it was Ryan Smart started a little war between yourself and Colton Smith, who won the Ultimate Fighter in the States. And I sort of put in a little tweet, possibly that is that a verbal agreement, lads? Is that the case, Norman? Do you want to fight Colton Smith?
Oh, I'm definitely up for it. I tell you what, you know, I never really call out any fighter. I'm not disrespectful or anything like that there, but that, you know, the only reason why I tweeted him was because, you know, the way like the American version of the Tough Series, they got cool. Keys to Harley Davidson and all this here. We never got that at all.
Yeah.
More publicity was on them. You know, I'm not trying to be selfish in a way, but I think it's just a bit unfair, you know. And I said to him, I tweeted him, you know, like you know, in a nice way, I was like, bring the keys to your Harley Davidson so I can win them off you, you know. So it was kind of a nice way. I wasn't really like being disrespectful and like that there, you know. I didn't really want to come across as that way. So,
yeah.
But I think it'd be a great way to hype the fight. Tough, like the Smashers winner fee, the American version.
The real tough champion. Yeah,
that's
exactly what way to hype it. I know he's welterweight, but he's a small welterweight, you know. And I thought he was moving down into lightweight. That's why I thought that'd be a great idea to hype a fight, because at the end of the day, that's what UFC want. They want people to hype up fights and stuff. So fair enough. Like, you know, I don't really mind. Like, have to do it then. So, but then he says he's going to stay at welterweight, and I says, right, I'll tell you what, I'll even fight you at welterweight because he's not a really big welterweight, and then that means I don't have to go through that whole miserable stage of cutting weight. I can be big and strong and fast and fit and just fight it the way I walk around, you know.
Mm. Yeah, because there was definitely talk after the Ultimate Fighter finale in the States in Las Vegas. There was definitely talk during the final of that fight that the both guys were actually going to drop to lightweight if signed by the UFC. Where would you like that fight to be, Norman, if it was to take place? Is there any particular card you'd like to fight Colton Smith on?
To be honest, I'd fight him anywhere, wherever he wants. Like, wherever the UFC think would be best to fight, I'd fight him in America. I always wanted to fight in America. I always wanted to fight in Mandalay Bay. That was my number one priority. So I thought, just keep hyping it, keep talking about it, and they'll actually see it as interesting. They'll make it happen. Like, but I don't care. Like, if they want to bring it to UK and hopefully even bring it to Ireland sometime next year, I'll fight him there. Like, fight him wherever he wants. Fight him in his backyard if he wants.
For the Harley.
The Harley. I'm going to ride it the whole way back home.
Yeah.
In Northern Ireland.
That has to be an agreement that the Harley's on the line, I reckon.
You're right, put them keys in the line, man. I ain't got a licence, but I'll still drive it.
Go man.
And Norman, how far do you think we are away from getting that elusive card? Because obviously you've really opened a door here by becoming the tough champion now. How far do you think we are from getting an Irish card or a Northern Irish card?
I think it's really, really close, you know, to be honest, because you look at the fighters you got now, there's who we got, look at, right, you go away to Dublin, right, Conor McGregor, right, that's awesome. One fighter for straight away, should be signed up with the UFC.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely.
He brings something new to the table, very exciting, and he's just a really, really good fighter to watch, man.
Yeah,
he definitely put bums on seats, that boy, I know. And then you got, who else we got? A whole pile of boys at John Kavanagh's club. Yeah. That are ready to go.
Chris
you got
Fields,
Chris Fields, you got him, you got the welterweight Carl Pender.
Yeah.
Let me see who else we got.
Who else?
Maybe the younger boys up around our area are still a wee bit young for that there yet, you know, but there's definitely a good few lads around
Tommy
this whole
Quinn,
country that
Redzer.
Tommy Quinn, yeah.
Redzer, yeah.
Fletcher, there's a whole pair of boys that could make up a great card in Ireland, definitely.
What do you
all get the chance?
What do you see? Do you see the grassroots changing around you with your win from where it was about 3 or 4 years ago? Even in your own camp and your own team, do you see more kids kind of thinking maybe this is the sport I want to get into now? Do you see that as a changing scene as time has gone on the last year or two?
Yeah, see, I tell you what. Whenever I had my first fight, I had a semi-pro fight when I think I was 17 or something, and I won that. Then I got I'd only been training 9 months, so I just found it very interesting. I did a wee bit of judo for about a year or so, so I had a first MMA fight, I won that. Then they says about fighting Greg Loughran, so I was like, right, I'll fight, no problem. Never knew who he was, never even looked up who he was. They end up after the fight, I was fighting this sort of like 15 fight veteran, like very experienced, I thought, geez, what was I doing in the ring with him? You know what I mean?
That was 6 years
ago. He stripped off at the other end of the cage and he was built like a tank, man. And I was like, fucking hell, man, no chance. But then, that was when it was really quiet. There was only Rodney's club, there was only David Patterson's club, Southern Impact, I think, and then down south you got Mark Leonard's club, was it Mick Leonard's, and then you got SBG. So it was only at that time way back then when I was 18, there was only them few clubs, but now, there's clubs everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there's people telling me that clubs here, and I'm like, I've never heard that club before. It's definitely come a long way, especially in this country, over the last few years.
Norman, when did it actually hit you that this could actually be a real career? And obviously on day one, it's only really the UFC became an opportunity. How long did it take you to realise this is what I want to do with my life? This is the future for me, and I could be a full-time UFC fighter and opening the door for mixed martial artists in Ireland, Northern Ireland.
Only really started taking it serious whenever was I put together a few wins. I came back, and whenever I took a rest after I lost that fight to Greg, or I think I had a semi-pro fight and lost it. Then I took a rest for about a couple of 3 years, just to get more experience in different. I did a lot of judo competitions, a lot of amateur boxing bouts as well, and a couple of wrestling competitions. So I thought, came back and then I won. I think it was 9 or 10 in a row, and then I thought. I think whenever I won like 7 row, I heard Rodney saying, he goes to me, look, you can give this a good go here, put your mind to it, man. And then I thought, right, let's go. But I was still kind of working. I was working as well, doing that thing, working and just training at night time. So then I lost the one to Joe Duffy, but I was out the next week after that, and then got back on the ball again, winning again. Then I thought, I can give us a good go here. So it was only really the last, say, maybe 3 years where I really been dedicated to it, And then I got my opportunity to fight in the Ultimate Fighter. Got that call, so that was definitely highlighting my career so far.
Yeah, you were absolutely brilliant, and big congratulations, Norman. Norman, before we wrap it up, is there anyone you'd like to thank? Any sponsors you want to plug, or anyone you'd like to say hello to?
I got a shop last year, but I want to thank the really close people that's been there just from the start. It's my girl, like my girl's been there from the start. She pushed me. I say, when I came back from Vegas, I was only back from Vegas that Thursday, right? So the tryouts were on the Friday morning, so I thought I could sleep the Thursday night and then go and get a flight early in the morning, but no, I had to actually fly back out to Vegas out to London for the tryouts that same day. So I was like, oh no, I'm tired, I want to go to my bed. And she actually booked the flights and says, no, you got to go now. I booked the flights. So if she hadn't did that, I wouldn't really be talking to you right now about it. Do you know what I mean? So I've got to thank her and her mum and dad. Like, I've been staying with them for the last few years now, and they support me really well. And my granny and my mum and dad and all that there, they support me as well. So, and then I got my coach Rodney, who's really brought the game on really well. And I'll never forget my roots. My old coaches and stuff like that there, my judo coach and all that there. I guess that's where it all started off. Do you know what I mean? And then I got all my sponsors and my management, KO Dynasty. They've been really great so far. They created the opportunity for me as well. So I'm just got to thank them. And Peak Physique, they sponsor all my supplements, everything for free. Use the strength conditioning gym. I get all that for free. So I've got to thank them and everybody else. It's just hit me up on Twitter and you'll see everybody and all my friends and everybody that supports me and follows me.
What's the handle again, Norman? Stormin Norman.
What's that, mate? Stormin Norman, yeah. Norman _Parke.
Yeah, grand.
That's what you get me on Norman _Parke. You can hit me up on my Facebook or on my my Stormin Norman Facebook page. I got a fan page as well. You can hit me up on that if you want.
Grand, excellent stuff. Listen, we can't wait to see you in your next UFC fight, and hopefully it'll be against Colton Smith.
And for the Harley.
I hope so. I hope so, my for the Harley. Yeah, bring in keys, don't forget that.
And for the Harley, definitely.
And go cross country in that thing, man. Travel around fucking America in that thing.
Come down here for a pint.
Oh, I got a pint of Guinness, hard to beat.
Listen, mate, you're an absolute gentleman. Thanks a million for your time, and best of luck in the future. Hopefully we'll speak to you again soon, mate.
Yeah, thank you very much for the opportunity. It's a pleasure. Thank you. All right.
Thanks, man.